The girl who spoke to birds. The quiet child. In a village where the wind always blew east and the crows watched from the rooftops, there lived a quiet girl named Ilara. She rarely spoke to people, not because she couldn't, but because she preferred the company of birds. While other children played games and shouted in the fields, Ilara sat beneath the old cedar tree with her arms outstretched, waiting. And soon enough, the birds would come. Sparrows would rest on her shoulders. Blue jays would perch in her hair. Even a hawk once bowed its head to her before soaring off into the clouds. Villagers whispered, "She's strange. She's cursed. She speaks to shadows and wings." But Ilara didn't mind. Her grandmother had once told her, "If you listen long enough, even the wind will speak to you." And so she listened. The feather that shone one morning, Ilara found a feather by the cedar tree unlike any she'd seen before. It shimmered like moonlight, but glowed faintly like fire. When she touched it, she heard a voice not aloud, but deep inside her heart, "Come north, the Sky King is dying." That night, under a sky full of stars, Ilara packed bread, honey, and her grandmother's old shawl. Then she followed the feather, which floated ahead of her like a compass. She walked through whispering wheat fields, across a river of fog, and into the blackwood forest, where no birds had sung in 100 years. There, she met the silent flockbirds of silver and black who had lost their voices to a dark curse.
"We cannot sing," croaked an old raven.
"The Sky King's voice is fading. If he vanishes, all birds will fall silent forever." Ilara bowed her head. "Take me to him." The Sky King, high atop the Cloud Spire Mountains, lay the Sky King's nest, a palace woven from starlight and wind. There sat the Sky King, an enormous eagle with eyes like burning suns, feathers that shimmered in colors beyond names, and a crown of broken branches. He was dying. His voice, once powerful enough to summon storms and move continents, had become no louder than a whisper. "Little one," he said, "you carry the feather of flame. Only one who listens with both heart and silence can wield it." "What must I do?" asked Ilara. "Bring back the song of the world?" The song, he explained, had been lost when humans stopped listening to nature, when noise replaced music, when war silenced laughter, and when greed drowned out kindness. Ilara had to find the 3 lost notes hidden across land, sea, and sky, and return them to the Sky King before the next full moon. The 3 notes. The first note was hidden in the Cave of Echoes, where a lonely wolf howled for a friend it never found. Ilara sang to the wolf not with words, but with kindness. The cave glowed, and the note pure and clear rose from the stone. The second note lay at the bottom of the sleeping lake, guarded by a turtle older than the mountains. Ilara waited beside it for 3 days in silence, listening to the rhythm of the water. At last, a turtle opened its mouth and released the note like a bubble. The third note was trapped inside a thunderstorm. Ilara climbed a hill, stood in the rain, and opened her arms. The lightning struck the feather in her hand, but instead of burning, it sang. The note descended in a spiral of light. The sky sings again. Ilara returned to the Sky King just as the full moon rose. She offered the 3 notes in her cupped hands. He opened his beak and sang. It began as a whisper, then grew a song of dawn and dusk, of winds and wings, of everything that ever breathed. The sky shook. The trees leaned in to hear. The birds, millions of them, began to sing again. The silent flock found their voices. The hawks cried out. The crows in Ilara's village wept with joy. The Sky King stood tall once more and said, "You have given the world its voice back." Epilogue. The bird speaker, Ilara, returned home, but she was never the same. She no longer sat in silence under the cedar tree. Now, every morning, children came to hear her stories, and every night The birds of the world flew over her home, leaving feathers of every color behind. And if you ever hear a bird sing a tune that seems to hold a secret, perhaps it is part of Alara's song, still echoing in the wind. The end.